Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, September the 23rd, and Tuesday, September the 24th, 2024. Well, slow go, slow moving, but of course, Billy and Adam, at society get into it. Adam gets in a great punch, knocks Billy like all over the table into the wall. And Phyllis is like, oh my God, Billy. And Billy gets up, of course, and he gets all in Adam's face. And Adam's like, try it, do it. Like, see if you can get a punch in. And Phyllis gets in the middle. Stop it, you guys. No, no, Billy, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Don't do it, Billy. Uh huh. So Billy leaves in a huff, and Phyllis looks at Adam, and then she leaves, right? Oh, Phyllis, goodness. Uh, Billy got served, okay? So anyway, um, they get back to the office, and Phyllis gets him some ice to put on his, little wound, little bruising on his chin, not a wound. And she's saying it's just not worth it, Billy. And he goes, no, he did something to Chelsea. And she goes, well, you know what, Billy, you honestly don't know. And for somebody not to want to get back with Chelsea, that's their business. Like, right? And he's like, no, I'm always gonna stand up for somebody that's not being treated right, especially if it's by Adam. And I'm like, would you really, Billy? Hmm. But you know what? I guess he would. Realistically, Billy loves trouble. He loves sticking his nose into stuff. So, you know what? He was probably right with that statement. We have Chelsea talking to Summer. Summer tells it, look, I'm a good listener. It won't go past me. It's obviously, something's obviously up. And she goes, is Connor okay? And she goes, no, Connor's doing better and better with his outpatient therapy. I am so proud of my son. Something else. So she's starting to open up to Summer, right? Now, about that time, Adam comes in because he's left society. So Adam comes in and he walks over to the table. Chelsea, can I speak with you? And Summer says, I've got to get back to Marquetti anyway. And Chelsea looks at Adam and says, I have nothing to say to you, Adam. Because remember, she just left him at society. Because he said, look, we got to explore. Is Connor whatever, Adam? So she goes, I don't want to talk to you because what you were talking about as society is an absolute no. And I'm not even going to talk about this, right? So he goes, Chelsea, don't leave. She walks out and leaves him in the dust, right? So meanwhile, we have uh Sally and Audra talking because they're besties. And I fast forwarded the whole, I'm gonna tell you the truth, fast forwarded the whole conversation because it's Sally saying, how come I can't get him out of my head? I can't forgive him for what he's done, not yet again. And it's the same conversation. And Audra's like, no, don't even think about him. He treated you wrong. And, just Audra has really kind of taken up the Chloe conversation with Sally, except Chloe, when she's talking about Adam, it's more hateful. Audra is just talking about Adam like disgusting pig, right? Because she don't really know Adam that well, but just going by her new besties version of things, he treated her wrong. So, needless to say, they talk. Victoria tries to warn Billy. Before she gets to Billy, she's talking to Cole. I like Cole in a what do you really do kind of way. What you up to? Because you seem pretty doggone boring, right? Um, and she was saying that, I really, for the sake of my children, I don't want them. They're old enough now They see internet news. I don't want them to see their father just humiliated, right? And so I'm thinking, well, realistically, if Victor gets Chancellor from under Billy, pretty much hostile takeover, details of that doesn't really hit the news that much. It'll just uh Abbott Chancellor is now under the Newman umbrella. It won't tell a story about mega mogul Victor Newman with a revenge mode against Billy Abbott. It won't be going into all that. So they really would not know. They would just know that now Grandpa owns it. Now, and that's if they're seeing news like that. See, the teen apps that they're on really won't cover that. But yes, ultimately they would find out because their dad would be out of a job again. But how involved were they with his job decisions? How did he feel? They feel about him working at Jabot and then Chancellor. I mean, certain things, especially when you send your kids away to boarding school, they don't care because they won't know. But anyway, I get it. My baby daddy, I gotta go warn him. Baby's daddy, he didn't really he because she wasn't telling him anything he didn't know. She said he's coming after Chancellor. Billy already knew he was coming after Chancellor. Point blank. We knew that. He goes, so what? I'm not afraid of giving of hanging on to Chancellor, giving your father a fight because he ain't gonna win it, Abbott Chancellor, right? And she goes, Billy, you know how my father is. When he wants something, he gets it. Billy says, well, he's not gonna get this. Now, are you gonna give me some specifics? How is he coming after me? And she goes, Billy, I can't give you specifics. However, I have a solution. Let me buy you out. Let me offer you an excellent price for Abbott Chancellor. I will buy it. I will give you more than a fair price for it. And you will be able to start whatever you want to start, Billy. And he goes, why would I want to have to work at a startup or work, starting a startup when I already have an established company? No, Victoria. And I'm going to hang on to this. And she goes, Billy, I'm doing this for the kids. I don't want them to know, or the inner animosity, their grandfather and their father are at war. And he goes, no, and I'm have our kids in mind too. But no. So she walks out like, you know what? I tried. And she did try. She 100% let it go. Let Billy be Billy. Because Billy isn't, here's the thing, isn't it interesting? They all have money, all of them, from Nick, Victoria, Adam. Adam has money, just he's not as wealthy as the others, and Abby. Remember, they all got their little $1 billion settlement years ago. They never really touched that money. They couldn't touch it right away because there was an age clause in it, but they are all well past the age clause of being able to access that money from the settlement. I think they each got like a billion each, right? Which is how Nick is the only one who's had that entrepreneurial spirit, and he went out and just did his own thing. He did his own thing. He invested in real estate. Nick is the only one. He started Dark Horse for that hot minute, but he's always owned something from rest bars to this to that. Nick, Victoria, she's never. One time when her and Ashlyn Locke were going to start their own, That's the only time Victoria thought of doing something separate from Newman. Adam, he'd rather whine. You know, he is the most educated of all of them from Harvard. Because I honestly don't think if Victoria went to college while she was pursuing art, because remember when she was a teenager, they sent her away to boarding school, Nick too, you know. But I think that was her high school years. Nick never went to college, and neither did Victoria. Adam did, right? So anyway, whatever. Billy will be Billy. That's whatever. I yeah. So now Thursday, Adam is walking through the park and he sees Faith really looking just distraught and worried, and he's like, "Faith, are you okay?" And at first, her first thing was to have her guard up. This is Adam. You know, they all talk bad about Adam, even though Adam's kidney is in you, girl, and he saved you, right? And so he goes, well, she goes, no, no, I'm fine. I'm just got something on my mind. And he goes, okay, because you look really upset. Should I call your father? No, no, you know, he knows what I'm thinking, you know, what's going on. And he's trying to work on some things too, right? So he goes, okay, well, I'm here if you want to. She goes, no, I've said I'm fine. So he goes, well, you know what? Have a great day. So he's getting ready to leave, right? She goes, Adam, wait, can I ask you something? And he turns and he comes back to her and they sit down. And she opened up about Sharon. And Adam is like, I had no idea Sharon is going through this. And she goes, Faith says, and you were with her when she first, you helped her, you know, when she first got diagnosed as being bipolar. How did you get through to her? Because, and she started laying out, you know, some of the things. She goes, we feel she is in real trouble. And she, right now, we have no idea where she's at. She goes, Adam says, nobody knows where Sharon is at. And Faith is like, no. She's avoiding our calls. She's not, I mean, we have no idea. And so Adam is saying, well, you know, there pretty much wasn't anything he could do because I mean he don't know where Sharon is. But he just said, you know what, I'm here for support. You know, the best thing is to get Sharon to realize she needs some help. That is the best thing that you can do. So then we have Mariah, Nick, and Tessa, you know, the same worrying, and they should, Mariah's reiterating what transpired, you know, out of town and how Sharon wasn't really there. She signed in, checked in online, and she never physically went there. I mean, so almost whole show back and forth with that. I fast forwarded the whole thing. It's the same old song, everybody. Now we get to Sharon and her hallucinating. I guess she had hit Daniel on the head. He's bleeding. He's in the bathroom, knocking on the door. She wakes up and she hears knock, knock, knock. She goes, Cameron, is that you? Since when is Cameron knock, chick? So she goes, no, it can't be. After a while, no, it can't be Cameron. But it's somebody knocking. Who's there? Nobody says nothing. So she puts her hand on the door. And her brain is saying, Sharon, you could just walk away, you could just run, get out of here. And no, but she has to open it up, and it's Daniel standing there, dazed, and he falls into her with blood all on the back of his head. And oh, now she wakes up. Now we get the Cameron hallucinations, and it's paint dry. Paint dry. Who feels like I feel with The Young and the Restless? How on earth can they think, and are they getting any kind of decent ratings with writing like this? I don't get it. So now it's you know what you got to do, you know what you got to do, and we got to do it now. And I'm thinking, oh, here we go. I'm thinking she's gonna call Daniel, pretend she needs to see him, tell him something. But they show this chick breaking into Daniel and Heather's apartment, with the little lock pick. Now, my thing is, I might know how to do a lot of things, everybody, but I don't know how to pick a lock. How many of you out there, Comic Cornerland, how many of you with the straight one? She only had the one. She didn't even have the two because, a lot of times you see them, they got two pieces going in there getting that mechanism, right? She just sticking click, click. Oh, it's so straight back. I'm in. Huh? What's the likelihood of that? On top of the fact, and I didn't go back to check, I just thought about it as I was going to make this comment. Why isn't there a deadbolt on that door? How did she know nobody was home? Daniel and Heather aren't working. Okay, but guess what? Oh, neat and tidy. She lock breaking come Jimmy come dandy, right? And she get in and she's looking around because see, she showed in her mind at the sleazy motel room, she's got this bottle of poison that once it's ingested, you actually die pretty quickly, right? Where'd she get it from? That's what I want to know. But anyway, it's almost like a Jordan situation. So she's looking. She goes over to the little cabinet that's across the room, looking in it. Oh, she pulls out this expensive bottle of brandy and Cameron's in her. Oh, boy, he's got good taste in brandy. Ooh, and isn't it ironic? When this was bottled, Cassie was still alive. Okay, it's showtime. You know what you got to do. So she pulls the bottle. Let me see. I got a picture of this. She pulls the bottle of poison out of her pocket and she's getting ready to put it in the brandy. Or so we think. They're leading us to believe that's what she's going to do. Now, what's the likelihood of that plan succeeding? And how do you pinpoint it's Daniel that takes it versus Heather versus the two of them having a nightcap together versus their daughter that's hitting up, turning to booze, taking that bottle out and taking some chug a lug, a couple sips? That is a mass murder situation. Mass murder. And if they write it that she does that, because that bottle doesn't say Daniel only. I want to say I'm through with The Young and the Restless. But look, I've still been watching it for years. I just hate it. you know, I just, but anyway, y'all, so there may be some of you out there liking this plot or liking this plan on killing Daniel. I mean, what's the likelihood that that would succeed? That it's only him. So that was it. I'm done. I'm done. Let's go to Comic Corner. Comic Corner. Oh my goodness. Okay, we have Denzel. Denzel says Lily is really a fool if she thinks Victor isn't playing her and gonna get rid of her. Oh, she's gonna learn. She's gonna learn today. Well, she still hasn't learned. She's gonna learn soon. Reflections of the Sunlight says, Hi, Daily Recap Lady. This was a great review. I wanted to mention I left a comment on your recap for September the 18th But I deleted it. Don't delete them though. Just leave them there. The reason is I wasn't sure if you saw it. Well, look, you deleted it now. For sure, I can't go back and read it. I noticed that my comment was literally uh, the only one you didn't read. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes Google will mess with the comments. I do look at a lot of recap comments, like a day, 2 days before sometimes. And sometimes the system will mark them red, even though I'm not responding to you. But sometimes the system will mark them red. Red as in I read it or I saw it. What, or even if I put a thumbs up or a smiley face, then when I go back to the comment, that comment is taken away because Google feels like, oh, you've already addressed it. So I don't know if that's what's happened with your comment. I think if you, I know I remember you're kind of a new viewer, but I'm back to Young and the Restless. I've been away from it for a minute, and I may have said thank you or welcome or something. If I did that, that takes the comment away from me. Which is why I try not to do those little replies unless I'm doing comment corner, because there's just no way I'm going to remember that there was another comment there that I replied to a couple days ago, because now trying to find it is very, very difficult. So hopefully that's it, because look, Young and the Restless doesn't have very many commenters. So I normally get through all of them. It's my General Hospital uh comment corner that, oh, there's way too many. I have my timer for 10 minutes. There's just way too many comments. But Young and the Restless, I hate that I missed your comment, but don't delete them. Let's see. I just figured out after you had read some other comments, maybe you didn't have time. No, that's not it. Somehow I think I may have put a smiley face on yours before, because I kind of remember, because your name is unique, that you said something last week that I think I may have, did a little emoji or thumbs up or something. Uh, as I noticed that you did that particular recap video, or is it less time? You mean 3 minutes? No, I don't have a 3 minute timer for Comment Corner for Young and the Restless. Anywho, I was just wondering about it. Another great recap. Keep them coming. Anita says Lily has forgotten who Victor is. Cutthroat. I guess she forgot how he turned on Neil years ago. Lily will find out the hard way once Victor kicks her to the curb. Yes, she will. And you know what? When we were dealing with the Neil working for Victor at Newman Enterprises, Lily was too young. Teenagers don't get all into, their parents' jobs. They really don't. I mean, nor would Neil go to Lily and just tell her, this is what Victor did to me today. This is why, see, she just didn't know, because that's something as a father, Neil didn't share with her. She probably only knew he quit Newman Enterprises and then went and worked for Jabot, or quit Newman Enterprises, then went and worked for Chancellor. Neil has worked for them all. That's probably all she knew. So everybody, that's it. That's it for the daily recap. I will be back probably on Friday with another daily recap, or I'll do it Saturday for uh, the rest of the week.